Admiral, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. We know the president is juggling these high-powered meetings with NATO leaders amid this political pressure that's increasing to step down, coming from within his own party. You are with the president quite a bit. How would you say he's holding up? Is it impacting the interaction between the president and world leaders?
Not at all. No, it's not been a focus of this NATO summit. The focus is rightly, and the conversations that we're having, also rightly on the issues facing the NATO alliance here going forward. Deterrence and defense capabilities, shoring up defense industrial base, making sure we continue to support Ukraine. That's the conversation that we're all having here at the NATO summit. It's not focused at all on U.S. domestic politics.
And I know the president met with Ukraine's President Zelensky. The 8th security package just announced for Ukraine. How crucial is the continued support for Ukraine as that war rages on?
Well, you don't have to look any further than the headlines over last weekend where the Russians used cruise missiles to hit a children's hospital right there in Kyiv and other targets throughout Ukraine, not just in Kyiv, but around the country. I mean, Mr. Putin continues to want to terrorize the Ukrainian people, wants to continue to try to break their back, wants to continue not only to kill their soldiers, but to kill their innocent civilians and even their children. So it's an urgent need right now to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to defend itself and to push those Russian forces back from places like Kharkiv and Zaporizhia. And they have made some progress in recent weeks, thanks to the additional aid that they're getting from the United States and from the West. But it's absolutely critical that that aid continue. And that's what the president's message to President Zelensky was today.
What is the latest coming out of the Middle East? I mean, is a ceasefire any closer to becoming a reality when it comes to the war between Israel and Hamas?
There's been an awful lot of work done. We believe that the gaps are certainly closable. There's an essential basic framework that both sides have agreed to. That is important. But there's still work to be done. Teams are still, even though the formal negotiating is over in Cairo, our team, the United States team, is still in the region talking to our counterparts to see if we can't hammer out the final details here and see if we can't get this over the finish line. I don't want to be Pollyannish about it. We've been working on this for a long, long time. We do feel good about where things are, but nothing is negotiated until everything is negotiated, and we got to stay at that task.
And how is the relationship between President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu? Because there has been some criticism and there was some discussion on how things are going between these two men.
These two leaders have known each other a long time, going on 4 decades plus. They don't agree on everything. They come from different political traditions. I think everybody knows that. And they don't see eye to eye on every issue, but they do see eye to eye on the big things. And the big things are that Israel needs to be able to defend itself from another attack like October 7th. We can't allow that to happen again. 1,200 Israelis slaughtered at a music festival and elsewhere. We have to make sure that together we're doing everything we can to get those hostages home. And that's why this deal is so important and why we're so focused on bringing it to conclusion. And we've got to make sure that the people of Gaza have a future that meets their aspirations. It has to start with food, water, medicine, and fuel getting into them so that we can alleviate the human suffering. But even beyond that, when the conflict is over, it has to make sure that they are governed not by a terrorist organization, but by representatives who actually can work to deliver for the people of Gaza. That's what we're focused on.
And what do you think lawmakers will hear from Prime Minister Netanyahu when he does address Congress?
Well, I have to say I don't know exactly what Prime Minister Netanyahu will say, and I certainly wouldn't speak for him or get ahead of him. Look, it'll be an important opportunity for not just American lawmakers, but for the American people to hear directly from the Prime Minister about how this war is going and about what his intentions and plans are. And, of course, we'll look forward to being able to talk to Prime Minister Netanyahu as well, to get the latest update from him and also to continue to work towards finding a way to get a ceasefire in place and to get eventually a cessation of hostilities here and bring this conflict to a close so that we can all focus together rightly, as you and I have been just talking about, on what the day after looks like and what governance in Gaza needs to look like and what security guarantees for the people of Israel looks like.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.